Hello, welcome to today's edition of Currents Up Close. My name is Kim Manning and I'm with the city's Tourism and Visitors Bureau, and today we're going to be talking about the Cedar Basin Jazz Festival. I've got some great guests with me to help us talk about the festival. We've got Kyle Henderson. You're the current president of the committee. Thank you for being with us.
Sure.
And Craig Lowy, also on the board for the Jazz Festival.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Great. Well, everybody's getting excited about the Jazz Festival. It's a staple in our community.
Right.
Let's get that date out there right away so our viewers can get on their calendars and know that it's coming.
Sure. Every year we have it the last weekend of June. So this year it's the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of June.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to it. It's coming up.
Great. And for people that like to plan ahead, it's always the last full weekend.
That's correct.
Right?
The last full weekend.
So you can kind of count on it.
Sure. Put it on next year's schedule.
Yeah. So how many years?
This will be our 40th year. So believe it or not, we've been doing this for 40 years. It's really become a staple in our community for the good family entertainment for that weekend.
Yeah, it is. All weekend long.
Yeah.
Well, let's just jump right into the schedule because I know that's what people want to know is who's going to be performing and that kind of thing. Kind of go through that for us, will you?
Sure. I'll talk about the bands during the day first.
Okay.
We have our host band who comes back year after year after year, and that's the Saints Dixieland Band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're here every year, and they host the event. Beyond them, we have some returning favorites. We have Petra Van Nuys.
She's very popular, yes.
Very popular. She's great. She comes out of Chicago and does a fantastic job. So she's bringing her quintet, the Petra Van Nuys Quintet. And we also have the St. Louis Stompers. They've come back again over the years. We have the Pelican Jazz Band and the Dandelion Stompers as well.
Huh,
So
now those sound kind of new to me. No, the Pelican and the
Pelican, I
Dandelions?
believe, is new. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we've got a couple of stages going. Do you want to talk about that as well? Because there's a big schedule.
Yeah, after they perform at our stage, they also are performing at the New Aldea Lifescape stage. And they'll be performing off and on at both places throughout the weekend. We're really looking forward to it.
Oh, good. So that kind of gives a little different atmosphere for people that maybe can't take the heat quite so well.
A little air conditioning. That helps.
Yeah. And this is, how many years have you been working with New Aldea? That's
Just
fairly
2.
new.
Yeah.
Great.
This will be our second year, and it worked so well last year that we're going back this year. And we're expanding it a little this year.
That's a nice option.
Yeah, they're great.
Well, in the 40 years that you've been doing this festival, you've added some nice additions and made some small adjustments as time goes along. And I think maybe the Sturgis Park After Dark might be part of that.
Right.
You want to tell us about that, Craig?
We have a great late night lineup on Friday. Diplomats of Solid Sound, they'll take the stage right around 8 p.m. And then William Elliott Whitmore, very popular. He'll be here Friday night at 10 p.m. on the stage, Friday night. Saturday night, after some of the jazz wraps up, we'll have Q&A. They'll take the stage at 5. The Maytags take the stage at 7. And then the Trippin' Billies are coming out of Chicago. They're a Dave Matthews Band, tribute band.
Oh, fun.
They'll be here Saturday night at 9. And then between the bands, Saturday, we have a local artist and musician, David Schrader. He'll be taking the stage inside of the beer garden, playing between sets. He's a local kid, and he does a fantastic job for us.
Great. It sounds like a lot of variety, lots of options for people. What are you most excited about this year that's kind of new and different?
Well, I think one of the new features we have is going to be expanding the New Aldea lineup. Yeah, a little more time there. I think that's one of the great features and things we're looking forward to this year.
Great. We touched on that a bit. I know one of the things that has been really important to this group is that you keep all of this entertainment free.
Right.
That's a big deal. This is pretty high caliber entertainment for no ticket price.
Right.
How do you guys do that?
Sponsors.
Yeah, lots of wonderful sponsors.
The fantastic support we have from our sponsors.
Yeah.
They step up year after year after year and keep this a free entertainment for everybody in the community. some of the main Deere, Toyota, Standard Distribution, United Beverage, of course, CFU, Blackhawk Roofing, and John and Yuki Block. All of them have stepped up year after year after year and given us enough funding to keep this free and a nice family event for people to come down to.
Well, great. Thank you, sponsors.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. So if somebody out in Viewerville wants to get involved and become a sponsor, how would they do that? What?
We would love that. On our webpage, we do have a PayPal donate button that people can go out and click on that and donate for the festival. We would love that. Or they can get our contact information from there as well and get in touch with us.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that website a bit. What will people find when they go besides the donate button?
They can also find a complete list and schedule of the bands that are playing for the weekend, which location they're going to be at, what times. Just a lot of information on the fest on our website.
Great. That's a great source of information to look back, because people aren't going to remember the whole schedule that we just went through. So that's a good source. Now you're going to have your own publication this year.
We are. We are
brochure?
going to have our own flyer and our own publication around town that people will be able to pick up. That'll have a listing of the vendors and the music, and it'll be fantastic.
So where might we find those?
Should be at most locations around town, in shops, down on Main Street. They should be able to see them wherever we have the rest of the flyers around town. You should see those.
We'll be sure to have them at the visitor center as well.
They will also be there as well, yes.
Yeah. So folks can look at the website. They can pick up a brochure. Just schedule out the weekend to see who they want to see and not miss a thing. Well, I imagine it takes a lot of volunteers to put all this kind of thing together.
It does. We have over 100 volunteers that help put this on.
What kinds of things are the volunteers doing?
Volunteers can be down at the park to either help in the adult beverage tent. They can help sell chips that we have to buy some beverages. Just basically help out around the park. And it takes a lot of volunteers to make this work, and we really appreciate the volunteers that make the effort to come down, take a few hours out of their weekend and help out with the Jazz Fest.
And it's a lot of fun, too.
It's a party. It's a great time.
So how does one make it known that they'd like to volunteer?
I believe that we can find some volunteers through the website as well.
Correct.
We do have a Facebook page as well.
Oh, that's right.
Cedar Basin Jazz Festival. You can find that on Facebook, on social media. And that's another way to contact us, any of us directors, if you're interested in being a volunteer or even a sponsor.
Great resources.
Yeah, and down at the festival, there will be a volunteer tent that the volunteers will check in at. And of course, anybody who wants to volunteer, maybe not this year if we're full, but if we need help, that'd be great. But certainly in future years, they can contact the representatives at the volunteer tent.
Okay, great. About what, a 2 to 3 hour shift usually? Or
it's generally what they are. Yeah, they vary a little bit whether it's during the day or at night, but generally a 2 to 3 hour span is generally a good guideline.
Yeah, well, new folks that are here in town, that's a great way to meet people and kind of get engaged, and yeah, that's a great opportunity. Yeah. So check out the website if you're interested in volunteering. Well, I think it's a good time to take a little break from our program. We'll take a break and be back in a few moments to explore some more about the festival.
Join us for the Cedar Basin Jazz Festival, June 23rd through 25th in Cedar Falls. Daytime entertainment features the greatest jazz musicians around, including the St. Dixieland Band and the St. Louis Stompers. Friday night at Sturgis Park, join us for the Diplomats of Solid Sound and William Elliott Whitmore. Saturday night, it's the Maytags, and Dave Matthews Tribute Band Trippin' Billies hits the stage. It's a party in the park at the Cedar Basin Jazz Festival, June 23rd through the 25th in Cedar Falls. Unwind after work and start the weekend as friends gather in Sturgis Park for Cedar Falls Live Tonight, presented by Miller Lite. Friday, July 14th, Kelly Construction and Kelly Realty bring CB & Company to the Riverside stage behind the Ice House Museum. Gates open at 5:30 and admission is free. Live Tonight is made possible by the generous support of our great sponsors, Miller Lite, the Cedar Valley JCs, and the Cedar Basin Jazz Festival. Unwind after work and start the weekend as friends gather in Sturgis Park for Cedar Falls Live Tonight, presented by Miller Lite. Friday, July 21st, the Cedar Valley JCs bring Nickel John to the Riverside stage behind the Ice House Museum. Gates open at 5:30 and admission is free. Live Tonight is made possible by the generous support of our great sponsors, Miller Lite, the Cedar Valley JCs, and the Cedar Basin Jazz Festival.
Welcome back to Currents Up Close. Thank you for joining us today. We are talking about the Cedar Basin Jazz Festival, and I've got Kyle Henderson and Craig Lowy here with me to talk about the festival, all that's happening this year, all that's new. I think we want to touch on some of the new things this year. You had some highlights you wanted to be sure and mention. Let's talk about that.
Last year was the first year that we had Prairie Lakes Church in Cedar Falls do a service on a Sunday morning in the park. They're going to do it again this year. They're going to expand their service. They're going to do the full service beginning at 10 a.m. this Sunday morning, or that Sunday morning of the festival.
Okay.
So 10 a.m. Prairie Lakes Church in Cedar Falls, where normally they have multiple services at their Cedar Falls location that weekend. I believe that'll be their only service of the weekend for their Cedar Falls location, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. at Sturgis Park, right behind the Ice House Museum that Sunday morning.
Great. Well, that will affect a lot of folks.
Yes.
And I'm sure everyone is welcome to join into that, not just the Prairie Lakes folks.
Everybody is welcome. They put on a fantastic service, a lot of fun, and just a great way to start your Sunday at the fest.
Great. Yeah, that sounds very inspiring. Well, food is always a big part of everything that we do, isn't it?
Right.
And it's a festival, so tell us, what can people find in the park in the way of food?
Yeah, as always, we have a great variety this year. We're going to have those wonderful turkey legs that we have every year that everybody loves. So they'll be down there again this year, along with some steak sandwiches and the mini donuts, which have become very popular as well. Pizza will be back this year.
Okay.
And we've got some good Caribbean food that's going to be a feature this year. And we have some of the Greek food that's been there past is returning this year. So we've got a great variety of food that people can choose from to eat throughout the whole weekend.
Great, great. Well, you know, we should probably make sure to mention Sturgis Park is so beautiful along the river right by the Ice House Museum. So that's where your stage is, just to make sure people understand that that's where the Jazz Festival part takes place.
It's a family-friendly environment as well. Bring some lawn chairs down, bring the kids, bring the family, and just have a great time with some great free live entertainment throughout the weekend.
And you even have some nice, like, street lighting kind of in the aisles on the grounds for the evening. That's welcomed and kind of adds to the ambiance of the festival too. So you guys do a good job of setting that park up and making it family friendly, and it's just a summer tradition, isn't it?
Right, it really is.
Yeah. Well, let's see, what else did we want to talk about? You know, a big part of this is that it's free to people to attend. And I know that you've done some creative things besides building great relationships with your sponsors, but tell us about the Live to 9 offerings that help support the festival.
Live to 9, we're partnered up with the Cedar Valley JCs. That's a Friday night feature. We're doing pretty much every Friday from, through June and July, where we have live entertainment. It's a good way to kick off the weekend. Again, free, with some great local acts and some food down there and some adult beverages. And again, a very family-friendly environment in a great park. The same park that we have the Jazz Fest, right behind the Ice House Museum. And it's just a great way to give back to the community, and the community comes out and supports it, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, kudos to you. That's a very creative way to generate additional funding so that the festival can continue to be free, because that's what you do with those proceeds, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right. The gates open at 5:30, I believe, every weekend that there's a show, and it goes from 6 till 9.
Correct.
It's the admission is free, like we said. Again, thanks to the wonderful sponsors we have for the Live to 9, and then there's food and beverages available.
Great.
It's a great weekend, Friday night relaxer after the end of a week.
It is, and pretty much throughout the month of June for this year, you're saying?
Through June and July, yes.
Okay, great. Well, let's touch on that schedule again, just to make sure everybody gets a good idea of who's going to be performing and when. You want to kind of go down that again for us, Kyle?
The jazz portion, the Dixieland jazz portion, we have our host band coming back this year, as they always do. They've been hosting the event for years and years and years, and it's the Saints Dixieland Band, and they will be back again this year. We also have some returning favorites. Petra Van Naus and her quintet will be here this year, along with the St. Louis Stompers and the Dandelion Stompers. And then we have the Pelican Jazz Band coming this year, and I believe it's their first time. So we're looking forward to them coming as well.
Fun.
And of course, the late night portion, Friday night, we'll have Diplomats of Solid Sound. They'll hit the stage at 8. And then right after that on Friday night, William Elliott Whitmore will take the stage around 10. He's a fantastic performer. That's a fantastic group. Saturday at 5 p.m., Q&A will take the stage, along with the Maytags taking the stage at 7. And then at 9 p.m., the Trippin' Billies coming out of Chicago. They're a Dave Matthews tribute band. They'll be hitting the stage as well. And between those artists in the beer garden, we'll have local artist David Schrader playing some acoustic sets as well. And then remember, Sunday morning, Prairie Lakes Church in Cedar Falls doing their free service beginning at 10 a.m.
Fun stuff. Great variety.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the work that you guys do to put all of this together. Now, you've got a committee that meets like all year long, right?
We do.
Correct.
That's awesome. That takes a lot of volunteer effort and time and talent, so we appreciate that you put all of that together. Now, folks can refer to the website to get all of the information about the festival, right?
Correct.
Let's share that one more time.
Yep, they can follow the website, cedarbasinjazz.org. They can go on our social media page, our Facebook page. Excited to have my radio station involved this year that I'm a part of, 105.7 KOKZ. We're beginning running ads and doing a lot of social media on that as well. And we're very happy to be a part of the Jazz Fest this year as well.
Great. Each board member brings something special to the table between lining up volunteers and sponsors and having relationships with bands.
Sure.
That's been a very important key to our success, so that's great.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
a group of board members that we really do appreciate. They've been coming back for years, some of them for decades have been on the board, and they work very, very hard. And we do, you're right, we meet all year long, every month, and we never take a break. We start planning right after this one's done. We'll be planning for next year's festival as well.
Great, great. Well, you've seen to it that there'll be plenty to eat and drink in the park. Lots of opportunity for socializing with your friends in a family-friendly atmosphere in a beautiful setting.
Right.
So thanks so much for all you guys do to put all of that together. Oh,
Good weather.
Fingers crossed.
Good weather.
Yes.
That
We
does
need good
help.
weather.
Yep, so everybody do their Sundance.
Right.
That's right.
But I've seen how you handle rain. You know what to do because we kind of expect that it might happen at some point, but well done. So thank you so much for all you do to put this great festival together for us. Viewers, you can check the website for additional information or get engaged and like the Facebook page and stay in tuned with what's happening from moment to moment because they're posting regularly. Thank you so much for joining us today for Currents Up Close. Make sure to come to the Cedar Basin Jazz Festival on June 23rd to the 25th, 2017. Thank you.